my heroes are potheads. So why drink and drive when you can smoke and fly? Peter Tosh said got to legalize. All my heroes are potheads.
Hello, and welcome to another episode
he's with you.
of Comics on Cannabis,
He's with them.
where you can actually... Hold on, I'm sorry, you came in. Can we do it again? We okay?
You're live.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. Like I said, another episode of Comics on Cannabis. Christian came in, so he kind of threw me off. What's up, Christian?
What's up, man?
Comics on Cannabis, where we talk everything from cannabis, sports, pop culture, movies. Just a cool place to hang out where cannabis and entertainment collide. I am Ed Cho. I am your host. Along with me, I have my co-host, Mr. Derek Michael. What's up, Derek?
Oh, man. I'm just happy to be here. This place is great. This place is great. We have to do a pan around later or something just to show the tiles.
This place is pretty amazing. Of course, running our board, we have Ming back there. What's up, Ming?
What's up, everybody? Great to see you guys.
Always good to see you. And today we have a really special guest. He really doesn't. There's not much you can really do to introduce this guy. He is probably the most infamous cannabis rights and free speech activist. The guy is an actor. He's a writer. He's a restaurateur, which we're actually in right now.
A freelance journalist, from what I hear.
Freelance journalist. We are at NJ Weedman's joint here in Trenton, which is right across. Oddly enough, which is right across the city hall, which we'll talk about in a minute. We'll talk about soon enough. But with us right now is Ed Weedman Fortune. Ed, welcome.
Up, man? What's going on?
What's going on, man? It's awesome to have you here, dude. It's amazing.
No, it's awesome to have you guys here. You guys are here in my place.
You're right. You're absolutely
I'm
right.
on your show, though, so I'm happy to be on your show.
There's a lot of love
There
here.
we go.
Anybody that...
Wait a minute. Comics and comedy? Oh, they got to come here.
Comics on Cannabis, that's right. You know what? We found that he has a comedy night, so I can assure you I will be performing here. If I'm more than welcome to perform here, I'd love to be here. Anybody that knows cannabis,
You don't get gonged here, though. You get bonged.
no, there it is. You know what? Then I'm gonna. If that's the case,
before
man,
the show.
I'm gonna be, you could bong me all day, every day, man. I'm all about this place. This is amazing too. Just so you know, appreciate this.
Comics that come here to perform get paid in weed.
I'm always here, then, man. I'm always here.
You show up 8 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, I'm always going to be here doing stand-up. Bro, at 5 in the morning, you'll see me here, man. As long as you pay me in weed, I'll be here. Don't you worry. 5, noontime, you mention it. All right, here's the thing, guys. If you know cannabis, if you know New Jersey, this man, everybody, no introductions needed. But for the people that don't know who you are and the people that want to and should get to know who you are, give us a little background about yourself, Ed, what you're about, and why you are who you are. And where do you start, right?
Yeah,
where do you even start?
That's a book.
I was born by the river. You ever hear Sam Cooke's song?
Yeah.
It's Change Coming. I was having a change thought.
Oh.
No, but all right, my name is Edward Fortune, Robert Edward Fortune, actually. I'm actually really from Camden County, but a few years ago I moved here to Mercer County. For the last 20-something years, though, I've been advocating for the legalization of marijuana. I think that prior to 1997 and my arrest,
which we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. All my friends and stuff knew I was more into weed. Any of my friends, even when we were teenagers, man, like, yeah, certain friends, had the beer and the cigarettes, but I always had the weed. No matter where we went. When they were drinking 40s, I had the weed. We'd go somewhere. If somebody wanted some weed, they would get it from me. I became, amongst my friends, I was that guy that had the weed. I always thought it should be legal. I was preaching it should be legal long before, I got all involved in all this official stuff. But, 1997, to be honest, I got caught smuggling a large amount of marijuana. 40 pounds I got caught with. It was more than that, but I got caught with 40 pounds. And, I had this whole trial. I was arguing publicly. The law was wrong. I was going for this jury nullification defense. So it was like I got arrested. Next thing I know, I'm running for Congress.
So that's what it takes.
Yeah, and I wanted the jury to know who I was. I wanted there to be a public opinion on weed. And if you can get a public opinion on weed on the street, you should be able to get a public opinion on weed in the jury box.
Sure.
I believe jurors have a right to judge the law as well as the facts. And that very first time in 1997, that was my tactic. That really public avocation, and I don't think the jury would convict me. People thought I was crazy. And right in the middle of the trial, one juror started crying. Now listen, I was caught with 40 pounds. I got caught with 40 pounds one time, and then 15 pounds a few months later, and I had a couple other little things. I was during that period of time I was hustling hard, so I caught a couple charges. Anyway,
Yeah.
And that was before I became like Weedman. Like these were like I was a smuggler. I was in the game.
Right.
So I got caught. But I was also always a nerd. You know what I mean? Like, as much of the street bullshit I could get into, I was still nerdy as far as reading and books and understanding things. And somehow I understood what jury nullification was. So when I got busted, my whole idea was jury nullification. I'm going to get the jurors to judge the law because I'm caught red-handed. There's nothing I can say. It wasn't mine. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But I wasn't going to sign a piece of paper walking to jail. That's how I felt. I was like, I'm putting it to the jury. I'm practically going to get on my knees and beg. You know what I mean? And right smack. And the prosecutors thought I was talking my way into jail. Everybody thought I was crazy, but I really felt that, anything you say and do can and will be used against you, or can also be used for you. Like that's everything has a reciprocal. And I always realized that there were a lot of people out there who thought marijuana should be legal. So on my jury, I think they're in the church choir. Why wouldn't they be on the jury too? So my thought was they can't get 12. So I started talking about New Jersey can't get 12 in the 90s, you know? And I went to trial in 2000 facing like 30 years in jail because I had in prison. I had the 40-pound case, was the first degree crime. I had the 20-pound case, was the and I had some other little bullshit that didn't amount to too much anything. But altogether, I could at least got 30 years in jail if they ran them concurrently and all that, which they wouldn't have, but technically that's what I was facing. But I argued to my jury the law was wrong. One juror started crying. They took her off the jury. An hour later, another one did. Two ladies started crying. They couldn't send me to prison. That's what they said. The one lady got kicked off for saying she couldn't send me to prison. My jury nullification defense was working. So right smack dab in the middle of my trial, after 3 years of running for office, talking all kinds of crap, I was saying everything. That was my first pulled out my weed mobile. Like it's like I got arrested. And part of my defense plan was to create this persona called NJ Weedman, who would be fighting the Goliath of government about weed.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Right smack dab in my trial. Two jurors were crying. The prosecutor was afraid that I was going to win, or at least get a hung jury. So they had this big huddle. They made phone calls all over the place. They had to talk to this judge, bigger judges. They had to consolidate things. Anyway, they offered me this deal that instead of getting like 30 years in jail, I get like 3 to 6 months 30 years in prison. I get 3 to 6 months in jail and be released into this program. That was a win, even though I pled guilty. I had to plead guilty to get that,
Right.
and I did. I felt like it was a win. Like even though I feel like you should go to trial, I felt bad about taking that deal, but at the time, I was still scared. It was my first trial, and to me, forcing the prosecutor to go from first degree charges to fourth degree charges, basically second degree charges, as far as time wise, I could be out in 6 months. I took the deal. Then I always regretted it. Then I regretted it after that. First of all, after I got to jail, that 3 to 6 months turned into 18 months. I had to fight to get out, saying that they violated their promise. But anyway, I did get out. And it was a long process. At some point, I got out. I got my life back together again. But at that point, I was stuck being weed man.
Right.
I felt like my life got changed. I was not only did I do that I did 18 months in jail. I did about another 14 months on ISP. It's called. At one point, they even violated me and sent me back to jail for making commercials about weed. By the way. I did 5 months in jail again for making commercials. Remember that. I went to jail for 5 months for making commercials advocating the legalization of marijuana in 2002 and 3.
Okay.
In fact, if you Google it, people, Google njweedman.com/censorship. And it's two big pages I devoted to censorship. If you Google that, NJ Weedman, you'll see. And it's a history of how I've been in jail. I've been jailed several times in this country for what I say. Not so much what I do. Right now, I'm doing something, but so if I get arrested right now, we'll get to that. But if I get arrested right now for what I'm doing, it's a justifiable arrest. Can they get a conviction? That's a whole nother story. But I've also been jailed for what I say and what I've done. So that's what happened to me in 2002. Like, I went to jail.
Right.
While I was on parole, I got locked up for making commercials for 5 months. I had a whole federal case. I won the case too. I represented myself. The ACLU came to help me. This public law firm came to help me. But anyway, I won, and it created a prisoner rights free speech case law. If you look up prisoner rights free speech case law right now, my case is like the leading case, like for
Was there a
prisoners
personal
across the
reason
country.
Well, they're just going after. Apparently,
Because I have a big
just shooting
mouth.
for you, man.
No,
so
I
it was
I have a big mouth. I'll admit, I have a big mouth.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
It's that simple.
I poke the bear pokes me back. I slip and dip sometimes, but I get hit every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been fighting, and I've been fighting. I feel like this system ruined my life. I had certain things, and everybody think, man, what was Weedman's goals at one time before he got arrested? I mean, you know how many people's lives get changed because they get arrested and for weed? It fucks you up, and I was mad about it. That's the genesis of Weedman. I got arrested in 1997 with 40 pounds of weed, and that fucked my life up. 40 pounds of weed didn't fuck my life up. At the time, I had a house in the suburbs. I mean, I can say I had a house, a fence, dogs, pool in the yard. I owned my own business. I had a Corvette, a Jaguar, and a tractor trailer sat in my yard, and I was making over $100,000 a year. Yeah. And yes, I sold a little weed too. You know what I mean? And bam, I get busted selling weed, and within 6 months, my truck got repoed. Within being paid off, and the police alerted to my finance company that they were going to seize my truck, so that they repoed it.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I could have paid it off, but then the police would be waiting to seize it.
Wow.
So it's like, bam, they just totally took away my really legitimate source of income. Within 6 months, I had a lease to purchase plan for the house that I put a lot of cash down on that house. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, they're trying to take the house back because I had no source of income. So bam, and then I end up going to jail, going to prison. They said 3 to 6 months. I did 18 months. So yes, I felt like the government ruined my life, and I've been the New Jersey government. And this is my way of resisting the government, like just fighting and hoping for legalization, trying to fix the law that fucked me up,
Right.
I really thought one day I would run for office. I thought I was going to be a Democrat. I was going to be some city council guy somewhere, some freeholder, maybe one day get on to some, I really had all those thoughts as a kid, that this is what I was going to do. So after I got busted and everything, I still kind of ran for office, but now it was all satire, fuck you. I'm running under the legalized marijuana party. I'm doing that. This persona Weedman always fighting the government, and that's the genesis of it. So I don't know what story you know about me. I've said everything, and so much of it gets covered. And the crazy thing about my life, the last 20 years, so much of it got covered because so many members of the media agreed with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So many. I don't know how many pothead reporters did stories about me. Because you know what I mean, and it's been that. I've been on some of the most major media in the country. I've been on CNN before.
You're just on TV right now. We just saw it, man. We just saw that.
I'm on News 12 right now.
Yeah.
I'm on tonight in Philly on the Fox channel. But I've been, when I was in LA, I got on LA stations, WKTL I think it was. I've been on TMZ, and it's all because of this whole idea of fighting the government about weed, So, sometimes I'm the Robin Hood of reefer, you know what I mean?
I never heard that one, but there you go.
Yeah, around here, I think I'm the Robin Hood of reefer. People perceive me as the good guy, the sheriff or the police or Nottingham. I'm the good guy.
Yeah.
Even when there's been like people have openly sided with me on certain things. Even when they threw me in jail, everybody felt bad for me. The jurors felt bad for me. Like, normally when you think of a criminal, he's in jail.
Yeah.
He's so this, that, and the other. They got to keep him in a cage. The prosecutors argued to keep me in a cage because they couldn't get a conviction. I think I'm non-convictable. I've been saying this for a long time. In between all these things I was talking about, I've beat several cases too.
Yeah.
There's several other cases. Burlington County, I gave them a nice 2-piece. I mean, like, bam, like we're in a fight. I knocked out Michael Luciano in one trial and came back a few months later and knocked him out again. So I beat Mercer County twice. Burlington County. Right here in Mercer County. Listen, Mercer County has charged me with 41 different offenses in 5 years. The first 2 years. But anyway, they charged me 41 different offenses. Guess how many convictions they got?
I'm gonna guess none.
0.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess not. Yeah.
0. A lot of the cases were dismissed by judges. The jury dismissed some, and some the prosecutor's office was afraid to get into.
You get off on that though. Admit it. You
do.
get off on the fact
I
that
do.
you know what? I'm scot free.
right.
All this time that they put into it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the last man standing.
Yeah.
I'm still standing.
Right.
I'm still saying what I'm saying. Right now, I'm practically like, all right, you made it legal now. You're gonna get 12 people to arrest me for selling weed. You're gonna get 12 people to put me in prison for selling weed. I have no incentive not to sell weed right now. They can come in and embarrass themselves and take my weed and catch a charge, and then what? I'm not taking no plea. I learned my lesson the first case. The first case I had, which I was describing in 1997, I took that plea. And the plea said I got 3 to 6 months in jail. They reneged on the deal. I did 18 months in jail. They were trying to get 5 or 6 years out of me after I took the deal.
Right.
And I was able to fight my way out of that. And I've been kind of fighting the government ever since on this issue. Now, legalization has been won, as far as I'm concerned. The public is on the side of legalization. That fight is over. Like 20 years ago, the argument for legalization was, it's good for this, it's good for that, it's good. You don't even have to say that no more. Everybody knows that.
How do you feel? Well, I gotta ask. I gotta ask. How do you feel about last Tuesday?
Tuesday?
What are you feeling? Because I know your
oh.
position. Well, first of all, before we do that, let's preface that. When New Jersey legalized marijuana for medicinal purposes. Okay, everybody thought it was a great thing. Like everyone's like, all right, it's legal for medicinal purposes.
I was
there's
pissed off.
This guy, right? Well, here's the thing. I mean, you're the forefront of cannabis, right? So you would think the guy at the forefront of cannabis would be like, yeah, pump your fist. This guy, right, was literally like, nah, I'm pretty pissed about it. That's the whole thing. Explain yourself on that before we go into what we're at right now.
All right, weed's a natural substance. It's been around forever. You know what I mean? Like it is not nuclear fission material. It does not need all this crazy security means and all this. Like, this is a natural thing. It's something that people have had for years, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the countercultural substances. It's the substance of the people. Like, it always has been an uncontrollable thing that the government can never get a hold of, no matter which society it's in. This is like natural, and that's how it's been preached to it. Now we got this unnatural thing happening where the government's coming in, taking it and handing it to corporations and trying to say that we have to buy our weed from the corporations. And that's what's going on right now with this whole legalization scheme. And most people didn't read the language of the question. And language means a lot. And like I said, I'm kind of a nerd too. On top of
small print, you mean?
Yeah. It's not really small print. It was right there, bold, right in front of everybody. But nobody reads. If they put like 8 pictures, people would have figured out what it said.
Right.
But it didn't. They don't have pictures. It's words. And a lot of people don't read anymore. If it's more than 120 words for a text or Twitter, people don't read it. They read the headlines. So the headline of that question was the legalization for the adult use of marijuana. And then if anybody had read further, it also said, this does not legalize marijuana. This creates a constitutional amendment to allow for blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Then it says, and it also creates a CRC board, a Cannabis Regulatory Commission, a CRC board or something like that.
Yeah, they got to figure out how they're going to profit.
And then that group, those group of 5 people, would make the bills and make the laws and the rules on regulated cannabis. And then the rest of the description describes it as regulated cannabis. Only regulated cannabis was made legal. And so so words mean something. They call regulated cannabis coming from one of the dispensaries, one of the corporations that they're creating, that's legal. You to have this weed right here is not legal. Nobody. That's not what you voted for. This is what you voted for. This is still illegal.
Well, wasn't the idea of that? It was that if it's just medicinal, you know what I'm saying?
No,
That's what makes it. That's
the
what makes it.
medicinal laws were 10 years ago. This is not the medicinal law. This was flat out legalizing it. That's what just happened.
No, this one, right? Yeah,
Yes.
no, this one, yes. I was
Yes.
talking about the other one, right?
Oh, the other one. The
Yeah.
other one. I remember I was pissed at that too, and I went to California over that. Again, I still felt the same thing. It was the people's drugs, this, that, and the other. And they made it all just these corporations. The ATCs here in New Jersey, the Alternative Treatment Centers, there's 10 of them now. At one point, it was 6 of them. In fact, for a long time, it was only 3. But anyway, they're the Alternative Treatment Centers. They're the only ones that are allowed to sell medical marijuana.
Right.
Right? And, like, to me, that was crazy too. Again, at the time, I was watching the model of California. I was watching what was going on in California. In like 2008, 2007, I was going back and forth to California on a regular basis. I was really like paying attention. I was trying to figure out how I can get into this market over here, like as it was exploding. And as I watched, it was actually Rika Sor was on that team and Senator Scutari. As they were putting together the medical marijuana bill, I was getting angrier and angrier. You're right. Because it was turned into this whole corporate thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this is weed. Like, what? Like, what?
Right.
And I just couldn't understand it. And ultimately, in my frustrations at some point, I went to California. And I went there, and within 8 months of running, I had a medical marijuana dispensary. It was a reggae spot. It was successful. I was on Hollywood Boulevard. I was in my realm. I lasted there for 5 years, but I basically went there because of the whole way that they were doing it in New Jersey. Like, it was so ridiculous to me, like this whole corporate thing.
Right.
And there was no room for me in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no room. You got to be a millionaire. You got to have this, that. So I went to California. And at some point, 5 years into it, 4 years into it, believe it or not, the state of New Jersey, Michael Luciano, a Burlington County prosecutor, reached out to L.A., contacted the U.S. attorney with a letter, which I have a copy of. And in the letter, he describes me as a drug dealer from New Jersey who lives in California and sends weed back and forth to L.A. and asked if they could have their assistance. Their response was to send DEA agent Patrick Kelly to investigate me and totally destroy me. Did not arrest me. Seized all my possessions, destroyed me. And at the time now, I went out there, like I said, pretty broke. Within a couple months, I had a dispensary. I was doing good. 4 years into it, I had 2 big, huge grow operations. I had a dispensary. I had a lounge next door to it. I had a couple apartments. You know, I was doing very well. I had a nice amount of money coming in.
Yeah.
I was on TMZ. I was on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah,
I was
living
doing
life.
Spike TV. I became a little celebrity in Hollywood myself as Weedman, the guy
Yeah.
from New Jersey with the weed spot right there on Hollywood Boulevard. That was me. You know, I was meeting all these celebrities. I was going to shows, all this stuff. And then, like I said, Mercer County sent the letter. Next thing I know, the DEA is smashing me out in L.A. I ended up back here. And for a little while, you know, and then at the same time, I had a bout of bone cancer. So I went through that for a year or so. I recouped at my mom's house in Sicklerville. And then when I was ready to go back to California, I started looking around, reconnected with my kids. And I was like, man, I'm not going back to California.
Yeah.
I'm going to Trenton. I'm going to the state capital. I'm bringing my fight here. You know, the state of New Jersey reached out to California and ruined my life. So this is all revenge coming back here, coming to Trenton.
Yeah.
Doing this, you know, this is my revenge for destroying what happened to me, what happened to my life in California. To be honest with you, it's like double revenge because it first ruined my life in 1997 when I was busted. I lost my truck and I lost my house, and
Right.
you know, I went to prison and all that. So this is all kind of like revenge for me. Now here I am. Look at me sitting on State Street. Every time the state has given me has issued charges the last few years, I've beaten them all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm daring them to arrest me, but basically I was so mad. I'm so mad about things that include me, include
Yeah.
people like me, let people like me be legal. So you got these rich white guys, or let's say political white guys, who are writing the bills and the rules and the laws for the rich white guys.
Right.
There's no room for nobody else. They're making it corporate. This who needs to? Why you need $2 million to grow weed? Look, I got weed growing right outside right now.
Right. Absolutely.
Like what? What do you want? What? You need $2 million, the license, and you got this, that, and the other to be a distributor. You have to do this, that, and the other. All these hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need this, you need that. Man, I've been distributing marijuana off and on for 30 years. Yeah. You're crazy. Like it's this whole unnaturalness of it. That's not how weed is. Weed is peace and love and share and everything. Like we share, we pass to the left. Like all that COVID's really fucked that up though. Nobody wants to pass to the left though. You notice that? Yeah. I mean, I constantly give people joints now. Like nah.
Yeah.
Whereas before I'd roll a fatty and we'd be sharing it. But now like nah.
It'll get back to that, I'm sure.
Maybe. I
mean,
don't know. It might have changed shit. There's gonna be a certain. There's gonna be a certain point. Yeah. There's gonna be a certain point of. There's gonna be a certain amount of people who never share joints no more.
I hope not the case. Comics on cannabis. We were talking to Ed Weedman Fortune. With what you're saying right now, with the white bread not being able to allow like the minorities get a part of it. Do you think that's gonna and that happened obviously with the medicinal part of it. Now that what just happened past Tuesday, are you afraid? Are you afraid?
That is happening.
That is happening
exactly
because everyone's going to be a little different now. Because you know what? It happened in the past, right? You learn from your mistakes.
The whole medical marijuana program, this whole if you want to make medical marijuana legal, you can you can just make it legal. You can make it legal. People use whatever substance they want for their own medicine in their own body. They could have did it like that, right? It could have been, and they could have had a free market system where people could open up places and sell marijuana. Certain people would be good at it. Certain people would be bad at it. If you want the Walmart of weed, you can have the Walmart of weed. I don't care. I'd rather go to the little guy. Anyway,
right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, even now, listen, you want to go to a record store? Do you really go to Target to buy a record? No. You find it at that little record store. You go in there and this, that, the other. And the same thing with weed. And then there would be people who are better at it. Look how I market myself here. I have a restaurant. Mm-hmm. I sell munchy food.
Yeah.
I have a little lounge area. I have a lounge area in the back. We play music.
Which is probably one of the coolest places I've been to in the past.
I totally cater to potheads. This is the wave of the future. You know what I mean? I'm
10-foot grow lights.
Yes, yes. I'm catering to the future. I'm a pothead. If I was to pick how I would like to have a place to go to, it would be very similar to exactly what I built. You know that old thing: build it, they will come. I've built it,
and they're coming.
Tell me this. Why did you feel, and it was, but why did you feel that peaceful disobedience was going to be so effective spreading your message?
I don't know, but it resonates. Even right now, what I'm doing right now, I say I'm in my Rosa Parks moment. You know who Rosa Parks was, right? Of course. Rosa Parks basically sparked the modern day civil rights movement with her refusing to get off the bus. Well, with a play on those words, I say right now I'm refusing to get off this cannabis. Like I'm not getting off this cannabis. Yeah. This is a business. It's a cannabis business. You want to call it a cannabis business? Yo, that's even crazy how they did that. When I went to prison, it was marijuana. When I woke up every day for some 1,200 something days altogether, I was there because of marijuana. My life was destroyed, ruined, changed forever. Can't get it back because of marijuana. Now, it's become Caucasian acceptable cannabis. And I got a jail cell, and they're allowed to sell.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Nope. I'm selling too. And this is what this sign's about. Sell weed like I'm white. Over there on my counter where I sell weed, this is right here. I constantly say that. Every time I have somebody who I might suspect to be a police officer or somebody investigating, I make sure I say certain things. Yeah. And I want to make sure that that's part of my trial statements and everything. 'Cause I want the jury to hear those.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm not taking no plea. I'm setting up a perfect case for a prosecutor who wants to arrest me, but I don't think he'll get 12. And that's what I'm saying. And I want to say that I'm doing this as civil disobedience to effectuate change. So far, they've allowed me to do it. I don't know why. Did somebody say, listen, if you arrest him, you're giving him the podium that he wants? Don't give him the podium. I don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like, you know what? It's about ready to be legal, and who cares what he does? Just ignore him. I have no idea exactly what happened. But all I know is 2 years ago I came out all angry. I was mad, and I was like, I'm like fuck these guys. You know what? I'm gonna sell weed like I'm white publicly.
And you have.
And at first, listen, every few days I was hiding all my weed. I was having anxiety attacks. Like, oh shit, they're coming today. They're coming today. I'd be watching my cameras. A police car would be around the corner for something else, and I'd be fucking panicking. Like, they're coming. They're finally coming. I hardly ever hide my weed anymore. I'm more afraid of somebody coming through the window and stealing my weed. I'm more afraid
I think that they're afraid, you know what I mean? Because they have a PR department.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a guy that's not afraid? I saw your Vice on TV. I saw that this guy was outside, right in front of City Hall,
In front of the governor's house.
No, that was the governor's office.
Was the governor's house, right?
Yeah.
The governor's office.
And he's selling weed, right? And not only selling weed, I think you had. Did you have clones?
Yes, I had clones.
And you had plants. And you had plants.
Yes,
The clones don't.
That was my protest to the no home grow.
Wow.
Like, I'm fucking growing weed at home.
Wow.
Fuck y'all.
That is so-
Matter of fact, here goes weed for anybody who wants to grow weed at home. Here, I got some clones for you. Like, that's what that was about.
You got to go and check this guy out online and check out some of those videos.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I'm like, this guy is gonna like. And the cops came out, right? And you were
Just
sitting
move
there
down the street, right? That's
You,
all
you,
he tells you to do.
you were sitting there. You're like, arrest me, motherfucker. Like,
Well, I wasn't
you
moving like
literally
arrest me,
you
but I
were-
was like, nope, I'm not moving, I'm not leaving. And then everybody was telling me, like, just go. Remember he pushed me at one point?
Let's go.
I thought one of the funniest things is that you couldn't get your joint
I
open.
couldn't get my joint lit.
That was funny.
Yo, I
Out
was
of all
so
the
upset
times.
about that. See, if you guys watch this, here's what you
That
do.
is
I was
so
on Vice
funny.
a couple times.
Oh, good stuff.
But this one particular time, go to Vice or type in Meet the Guy. The title of that is Meet the Guy Selling Weed at this governor's office.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's
Yeah,
like
on
it's a
Vice.
very long title, but that's it. But just do NJ Weedman Vice, and all 3 times I was on there, it'll pop up, and then you'll see that title, and click on it, you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah,
but I had just got
fine.
out of jail for some bullshit, right? I beat the case and everything, right? I had that uniform on, which I stole from jail at the time. So I got out of jail,
Hold on,
and with my stolen jumper, I did a protest by selling weed at the governor's office.
He stole the jumper on the way out.
Yes, that's kind of like it was like a mean. It's like a mean souvenir. Because look,
The irony of that is,
when you first go to
gotta
jail,
tell you, man,
when you first get there, they give you a uniform. So I got that uniform. I wrote on the back of it. It says political prisoner. And in jail, a lot of times you're not allowed to write on the thing. And I remember I wrote political prisoner. All the guards, everybody knew me. The captains, everybody knew me. I wrote political prisoner on it, right? The lieutenants and everybody came and looked at it. But nobody, like, they were coming to look, but they weren't, like, they usually could charge you. Like, guys would come put gang signs on their shit. They'd come charge them, and they'd take their shit and everything, right? So they came and kind of looked, political prisoner, and they just left it alone. At some point, they had conversations about, right? Now, normally, you wear it for about 3 days, you take it off, and then you exchange. That's what they do, right? I took mine off, used it as a pillow, and stuck it under there, and that's the uniform, the one that I wore to court every single time. It actually has never been washed. That's the one I wore to court every time. So, because it had political prisoner, if you look at my trial, during my trial, I wore it during my trial. And it has political prisoners. So to me, it was like a souvenir, a reminder of trial and this, that, and the other. That's the uniform I wore during my trial, right? They let me, listen, in jail, you know, you're only allowed to have one. Yeah. I had like 3. That one was my pillow, and nobody ever took it. When I was time to leave, I took it. Sometimes they would be do cell searches, and they're searching everything. And they would see clearly, Weedman has more than one jumper. That's my pillow. They let me have it. That was one of the little perks I got for being Weedman. Nobody messed with my jumper.
When your time is up, can you take it if you wanted to?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that's
what I was saying earlier. He stole his jumper on the way out.
County property.
I know he did.
Yes,
No wonder.
it's county property. Listen,
he did.
if some county sheriff decided to do it, they could actually probably come here to retrieve their shit. Like, it's clearly stolen property. I stole it from the county jail. I wore it
funny.
before.
I sat here and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, this actually, you may not want to sit too close. It's never been washed.
I appreciate that. That's always good to know.
Because in the jail, if you wash it, you send it off, and it ain't coming back to you. You know what I mean? I wrote 420.
Oh, that's
To
right.
me,
Yeah.
That's the one I wore every time I went to court. See, if I showed you, let me show you.
Yeah. The mark's still on the back of it. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
It's a little faded, but you can
It's
see
a
it.
little faded, but you know.
Wow.
Is that?
Actually,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I never sent it to be washed. I actually did wash it like in the sink
Wow.
at the just to get some funk out of it.
Yeah. Well, it's good to get the funk out of it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm
It's
sitting
never
next to it,
really-
man.
It's never really been washed.
Oh, if you know, one day we're gonna see that like a charity auction or something.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, make some of that.
Yeah, let's see if somebody wants to bid on it one day. Yo, I should.
You know what I'm saying?
Just to see.
I wanna ask you. This is something I'm actually kind of curious, and we've talked about here too. There's no doubt in our mind, anyone's mind, from anyone you've talked to, anyone we've seen, that as far as social justice and what you think is right, because you've fought the fight. You're fighting right now. You've gone to jail, wrongly, like basically.
And I've won publicly.
Well,
I've beat the state.
I mean,
in
exactly.
a way that says the public is on my side, and I believe the public's on my side now.
Right.
If I say that little guys, not just me, not just black guys, little guys, everybody.
Right.
What the hell? Why can't you grow your own weed? Why can't you sell to your buddy down the street, or your buddy down the street come over and buy from you? Why can't you barter and trade? How come it's only these big corporations get to be legal? That's what just happened.
Right.
And it got passed off as legalization. Not legalization. It clearly only regulates. It clearly only legalizes regulated cannabis. Like, what? What is regulated cannabis?
Well, like I said,
They want their cut.
it's going to help what
only,
they're doing.
only if you buy it from them.
So it's about money.
That's not
Right, so
legalization.
it's-
it's from their corporations you can buy it.
It's a money thing. Right?
Yes.
It's all it is. It's all about money. Everybody wants a
Yes.
piece of their pie of that, right?
Right.
Well, here's the thing, though, and like I said, Derek and I have talked about it as well. There's people out there, white bread people, that
They
are.
want to sell too.
Well, no, they're saying flat out they're going under the guise of social justice. They're going under. They don't really care.
Yes.
They really don't. You've met people.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
they're saying, you know what, white bread. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
Yeah.
let's.
I just want it legal. Yeah, I know,
Why
there's
want
a
it
lot of
legal?
people
I'm
like
talking
that.
about social justice. I'm talking about the African American, the brown people. I'm talking
No.
about anybody that's getting put away. I'm having a hard time sleeping tonight, right? Social justice, right? White people, right?
And then they sell out.
And then they're doing it. All right, because there's a money grab here somewhere. They don't really care. Once again, you went through the wall. You got bloodied. So obviously there are people. There are people that care. All right, there are people that obviously it's really important to them, and I can understand that. I mean, what's going on is wrong. But when you have people out there that haven't experienced it, they know they're using the guise as social justice, the guise of legal cannabis, for their own financial gain. Right. What do you say to people like that, or what do you say to people that that? I mean, personally, you can see through it. I think you can see through it. Like, you could tell when somebody's full of
No,
crap.
but you know what? That's not wrong to me. If that is their niche of how they're down with legalization, like all comers, man. There's different angles of everything. When I'm sitting there arguing from the standpoint of a former marketeer or a former, I'm an illegal guy. And I'm arguing for my inclusion into this legal market, right? Mm-hmm. I don't expect the housewife over here who wants to grow 3 plants in her backyard to have my argument.
Right.
So if her argument is her argument, then she's still my ally because she's arguing for legalization.
Right.
So if there was that guy that had that opinion, but he was arguing for he wants legalization, I'm down with him.
Yeah.
What gets me and irritates me when I get some of those people look at me like, what? Why is it gotta be about black and white?
Right.
When
they're talking about social justice,
wait
right?
a minute.
Yeah.
Why does it like it's really like the rich guys, it's not the white guys. Like when I get them to say that, it's like, listen, don't take it to heart that way. But the race card has been played against me my whole life. Why are you mad that now it's in my hand and I'm playing it?
Right.
Sometimes I think that way.
Right.
Like, listen, yes. Am I a little extreme with it? Am I playing the race card when I'm saying I'm selling weed like I'm white? You damn right. I got me a fucking ace.
Yeah.
And right now, during this, all these, there's things going on, and it's not that I'm not wrong. Because listen, there's something called Google nowadays, right? You can Google image, go to Google image, right, and type in names, and watch the names that pop up. So you can Google first every single one of the dispensary owners here in New Jersey, all of them the CEO CEOs of their corporations. You can go look at them,
Yeah.
right? You can put their images right there. None of them look like me. Look up who goes to prison for weed. Who would love a guy like me? I went to prison for weed. My end of the day story, my fucking Hollywood fucking story is I end up owning a big weed dispensary, big weed distribution system somehow, blah, 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 right? I think I even have the public persona to pull it off. You know, I could be Ronald McDonald of weed. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Ronald McDonald, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. I think I have. I didn't mean to say that, but you know, I was just, I had to grab something recognizable.
Ronald McDonald
popped up so fast.
That's a little too much.
Yo, but anyway, listen. Do you think I could have other places called NJ Weedman's Joint or Weedman's Joints? Hell yeah!
Yo, franchise it, man.
Listen.
Franchise
You see, and I say Ronald McDonald also because the big M's. Right. It was just like a big NJ with a weed leaf behind it.
There you go.
You know, that'd be my logo.
Absolutely. Dude,
I've thought of stuff
man.
like that. You
what
know,
what
like
stopped you from doing that? Is that what's next for you think?
Yeah, these are all things that. But I want to be legal.
Right.
How can I invest all that type of energy and time in doing those type of
when
things?
they can come
and I'm
take
not
it
legal?
away if they want to use the law against you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Even what I'm doing right now, I think I am totally hindered because I can't get in the market. I can't put my name on it. Look at all these guys that are getting in the market. Last week they were selling cars. Now they're like, I'm a weed activist. I'm a guntrepreneur, and I want to live. Right? And they never sold no weed.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole lot of them. There's lots of them.
Yeah.
You know? Never seen more than a couple of joints in front of them. You know?
Right.
Never been to a grow house, never been to the fields, never knew how I got here. I have transported hundreds of pounds across the country back and forth. I've been in fields that were just huge fields in Northern California, huge fields in different places of the country that I flocked to those places at one point because I really just believed in those type of things. And now, here I am in New Jersey, a very recognizable figure and everything, but I can't get into this market that they're creating. And like that's the crazy thing. They're creating this whole phony market instead of legalizing the existing market.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in the existing market. Look up some of these pop-ups. You ever go to a pop-up?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. Just about everybody in those pop-ups would love to be legal.
Sure.
They would love to have their own store and this, that, and the other and sling weed like they're doing. Sling this product, that product. All these people instead of be popping up and hiding on the internet and disappearing and all that.
Right.
How many of them would love to just open up a store and be legal? There's a whole lot of us, but that's not who they're talking. Half of them got penalties, and I mean.
Well, first of all, it's expensive as well too, isn't it, to get a license? It's like 20 grand.
But why? Because these guys are writing the law to say that they can write the law say anything. Why are they writing the law saying you need 20 grand? Why are they writing the law saying you need 100,000? Why are they writing the law saying these are guys writing the laws? Like they're writing these. First of all,
they don't know what they're doing.
They're just creating it, and they're creating it by
$2 million, right? How much you need?
I think I should be able to just walk across the street right there and get me change the status of my business on my business operation. Just say instead of a restaurateur, I just call myself a 420 lounge, or a marijuana distribution place or something, whatever, right? And like. Pretty much that simple. If I gotta pay some money, pay some money. 20,000? No. You know, when I pay taxes on whatever sales tax, if I could be legal, I pay taxes. Listen, I've always said taxation instead of incarceration. These guys are all arguing about taxes for the money for the government. I'm saying there's no segment of the marijuana activist movement that begs to be taxed more so than the current black market. The current black market believes, and if you've been in prison for weed, taxation instead of incarceration. That's what we believe. I would gladly have paid taxes on that marijuana I got caught with in 1997 than had done the time.
Yeah, of course.
That, I did 18 months. So in fact, listen, I didn't really do 18 months. I did 18 months in jail and prison first at Riverfront State Prison in Camden. I got released into some program where I had some dickhead who thought he was better than me as a parole officer, whatever, fucking guiding my life. I had to go to bed. And then he got mad at me and locked me up for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then I was on the program again for about 12 months, 8 months before they got rid of me or whatever. Bam, right? And that period of life I can never get back. Those 4 years of life can never get back. And it was all fucked up.
Right.
Listen, my parole job was pumping gas. You know, that was the job I had as pumping gas. And like, not knocking gas pumpers, but at that period of my life, you know,
Yeah.
I'm pumping gas. Because I got busted with weed. That I had that line on Afro Man's song. You know, like I was pumping gas because I got high and got arrested. You know what I mean? Like this bullshit, right? So I don't know. Now everything's being legal. No, I should all these different weed skills or whatever. My marketing, my place is a destination place now, and it's illegal for people. You know, for pieheads. Like I'm a
Right.
destination for pieheads.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are really close. I have people come here from Virginia. I have people come here from Connecticut, Northern New Jersey. People come here all the time. I'm a block away from the train station. I've had guys get on the train somewhere else in Baltimore or something, ride up here, get off the train,
Yeah.
and come in here because they can see me on the internet. I have an internet presence. You know, people in different parts of the country follow me.
Right.
When you post this and link this to me, there will be people from different parts of the country gonna tune in and watch this because I just have been man forever, and you know, not that I'm that like I'm not a celebrity in a sense. I don't have any like God-given skill. You know what I mean? Like I'm not Snoop Dogg. You know, but somehow I figured out a way to somehow reach out to potheads over the years, and it's not just like, hey, I'm smoking good weed, because half the time I'm not even smoking weed, but I'm talking about something, or I'm fighting something, I'm resisting something.
Right.
And that's kind of what I push out all the time.
Well, here's the thing. You know, to quickly like almost like wrap up, like you have such great stuff here. I mean, I've never, when I walked in here, the restaurant in the back, you have the you have the smoke area here. It was called, wasn't it called a temple or that?
It's called the Liberty Bell Temple. The middle, it's 3 buildings really here. It's a restaurant. The middle building is Liberty Bell Temple, and the third building is the stash spot.
Right.
But once you're inside the building, they're all connected inside, and it's a common back area for people who don't know. So anyway, here's what, if I have some closing words, I'll say, listen, come on down to the joint. NJ Weedman's joint, 322 East State Street. We're 8 ounces and chicken wings.
8 ounces of
8
chicken.
ounces of chicken wings. Now we have different days. We have, like I was saying earlier to you guys, on the first, second, and third Wednesday of every month is comedy night. The fourth Wednesday we alternate. It turns into anything. We even have LGBT night is on a Wednesday.
There you go.
We have reggae nights on Fridays. Like right now, it's early. The reggae DJs out there on the patio. There's reggae music if y'all can hear it in the background.
Yeah.
You know, Saturdays we call Sativa Saturdays. You know, because the menu's got infused.
What is your
That's
menu
always
like,
nice.
by the way?
Yeah, you gotta go check it out. But it's munchy food. You know, but there's some good heavy meals on there too. It's not just like, you know, crackers and cheese. You know, it's nothing like that.
You know, Munchie's food is always
Ice cream.
good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, the hamburgers and fries and turkey burgers.
Your kitchen's still open, right?
Yeah, kitchen's open.
All right, I gotta grab
Yeah,
something, you know.
Yeah, there you go. And listen, you know how many people get the munchies and they're sitting here hanging out and they're listening to music, this, that, and the other, and then they get hungry and they buy some food and they leave with the food. So people come here a lot.
I'm gonna come here a lot now.
Yeah,
You know, you're gonna be seeing my ugly ass here,
Yeah.
smoking and where can we
Just
find you on
chilling.
social media?
Instagram I'm using a lot more now than I ever did before, but it's NJ Weedman at Instagram. And watch out on Instagram, because on Instagram I have a whole lot of people that spoof my page.
Yeah.
And they try to, like, I don't know, they're ripping people off. They give up false information. They're
impersonating you, right?
Yes, they're impersonating
Right,
me.
yeah.
But what they do is they add little letters, a little this or a
The
little
N,
that.
there's an extra N
yeah,
on one of them.
extra N, add a 0, put a 420 sometimes.
What are they usually trying to do? Just ask
They're
for
really
money?
trying to rip people off.
Wow.
They see. I don't sell and send nothing. I don't engage in no mailing at all.
Right.
Right. I have a place. This is what I say. I have a place right here. Come see me. I'm catered. Come see me. I'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about right here. I don't do none of the internet stuff. I don't mail nothing. I don't want nobody's money. I don't want none of that on me. But other people do it by faking me. And they're just ripping people off. I mean, I've had so many people like, yo, man, I thought I was talking to you, and I gave this guy $1,500. Yo, guy,
wow.
I thought, yo, thousands. I had a lady come walking in here one day. She's right there where that tripod is. She was standing right there. And she said she lost $2,300 to somebody who was impersonating me.
Wow.
And she said she was mad at first. And as she was gearing herself up to come confront me, she realized that she wasn't talking to me. Yeah. She was talking to a fake person. But then she came and told me. And I felt so bad for her, you know. I felt bad for her, and there's so many of them. It's like so many of them. $750 here, $150 there. A young lady just recently, I was going down, I was up Route 1, and she's taking pictures of me in my car. I have this Weedmobile, so she's taking pictures of me in the car, and she gets me to pull over, and we do a selfie, and I Instagram back and forth with her a couple times, and then she thought that she was communicating with me on Instagram. And she was communicating with this dude, the fake guy, who said that he was going to deliver it to her. So she told her husband, Weedman's coming to my house. They were all ready. Like her and her husband smokes weed. He was mad that when she met me on the side of the highway, he wasn't in the car. So he's like, yes, Weedman's coming to my house. They're going to deliver weed. I don't deliver weed, by the way. Right? But this is what she tells me. She says, and then we realized that we got scammed. Like, first of all, why would they have to send money for me to come deliver it? Like, and then like they're in like Hopewell, drive over here and get it.
So all your
like, but when somebody's from like Texas or Chicago, they inbox me like, dude, I just got had by your scammer, and it's happening all over the country.
So
People
for all your fans out there now, right? How do we know it's you?
I say, listen, I do not mail weed. I don't mail. If somebody's trying to tell you to give you the cash app,
not the man.
It's not me. And you should video chat with the person. Get the person live.
Yeah.
You know, get the person live. It's not me. It's not me.
Yeah, when I talked to you on the phone, I felt bad because you were all pissed because you were paying some type of ticket up in Birmingham, or weren't you going up north like this Wednesday or something?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to go to Binghamton.
Yeah, you sound all pissed. You're like, yeah, I gotta fucking go. I was like, I got him on a rough day, man.
Yeah, I think I was talking about it. Yeah, like I couldn't get out of paying nothing on the line.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's far. I was like, that's a far ride.
And then guess what? Then they closed the courts.
Did you went?
No, I didn't go. I was getting ready to go. So then they did close the courts. So, but now I can't figure out, and I don't want like them to issue a warrant or nothing for me. I tried to get them on the phone, couldn't get them on the phone, nothing. Now I probably didn't spend enough time. Like tomorrow, if I just get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and call until I get somebody, I probably get somebody. But yeah, I caught a ticket up there in Binghamton. I was speeding, and I caught a ticket on my way to a weed harvest festival, the New York Harvest Festival. So I caught a ticket. Now I have to go to court, and because it was a speeding violation, I have to go to court. Like, that's how they treat speeding violations.
Yeah, I'm sorry you got that, but you sounded pretty pissed. And I was like, oh, man, I got this guy on a wrong day. I
thought you were 200 something miles away.
Yeah, and you got to... yeah, that's pretty shitty. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Yeah.
And it's like at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., like, your whole day is
your whole day is shot.
And you know it's going to last until 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock. So then you're coming home, it's like 12 o'clock at night. So I was like, man, I couldn't get out of it, no way. And then, like I said, they changed their, like that same day or two, Monday or 2 months, because of the COVID thing, they raised this, and their courts closed again. So I was like, okay, how do I deal with this now?
Right.
Yeah. You know what? It's always something, right? Especially with this guy. It's one thing after another after another.
Actually, that's just a minor thing. I'll take care of that.
Yeah.
You know what the best thing for me to do would be to call right in that town, contact the lawyer in that town, and ask them to represent me in that town. Because the couple $100 I would go back and forth going back to court all the time, every time.
It'll add up.
It'll add up anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So I get me a lawyer in that town, pay him to represent me, and ask what he can do about this speeding ticket. It's just a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
If he can change to anything but a speeding ticket, speeding tickets affect your points and all that. So change to anything. I don't care. I don't care what he changes it to. But if I can get somebody to change it, then I'd be
good.
happy. I'd be happy. And if I had to show up in court one time to plead guilty, that's better than coming back for 3 or 4
Absolutely,
times.
man. That's a long ass.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do that.
But guys, this this was absolutely amazing. Just what you're about, what you're doing. We
I had a great time here, man. This place is great.
Oh, it's not done. I'm hanging out.
Like
Great. Like this place.
No, you can hang out. Listen, we have crab night tonight.
Yeah,
Cannabis and crab.
I might eat some
night
cannabis
tonight.
and cannabis on comics. We'll eat cannabis on crabs.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that. But Ed, I just want
Now,
you to
listen,
know
if you
it's
come on a
amazing, man.
Friday night, cannabis and crabs. Let me explain the crabs. It's oh man,
Snow crabs?
Snow crabs. We had, we had the whole crabs, but man, young people don't eat whole crabs no more.
I eat the crab, the blue crab?
Yeah, but
Hell yeah,
look,
break
so
that
many
shit
people
open.
don't want. So I had them both, but a lot of people don't. So we had better luck with the crab legs, you know. So all right, so the crab legs is really what we're always selling here right now. Now the crab leg is not simmered in canna butter, but what you do is you have the sauce to the butter.
Yeah.
The dipping sauce is infused. Most people don't even use the whole thing. So you take it home. You can put it on anything. You can pour it in. You can pour it in your barbecue sauce and get hot chicken if you want.
We're getting on that, dude.
With it.
We're getting that.
Yeah.
No, we're getting on the crab thing. That's what we're doing
Yeah,
out here.
I'm down.
We're taking care of it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Totally. But guys, here we go, man. Ed, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
like
man.
this guy,
great
just
day.
amazing time. Went to Comics on Cannabis, where cannabis and entertainment meet each other. We talk everything from cannabis, sports, pop culture, just a cool place to hang out. And if you want to continue to hang out with us, go to www.comicsoncannabis.com and or follow us on at Instagram at Comics on Cannabis.
And next Wednesday they're going to be here again.
And we're going to do stand-up comedy here. That's right. So, Ed, amazing place. Thanks again for everything. Derek?
Man, I had a great time, man. Thanks for letting us here.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go munch some crabs, man. That's
So
what
how's
I'm
that
I'm
weed,
about
man?
to do it,
You
man.
puffing on that
Dude,
weed?
it went out. Dude, it went out.
Dude,
I didn't want to
why
interrupt.
you-
Yeah, but I'm
you
gonna get
should've
back on it right now.
just asked, man.
I appreciate
I
it.
sat here and look at me. I
appreciate
That's
it.
why I was spieling on and on and on and talking about like tickets in Binghamton and stuff because I got high.
So, as far as that, guys, we are
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we have karaoke here too.
Do you have